Path. You are on the right journey. The journey of self-discovery, the journey of self-love, the journey of self-empowerment. Stay on this journey. And just like that, we are live. Hey guys, I see there are 3 guys. We welcome you. 4, we have a great show ahead for you. My man is back. I'm sure you saw the thumbnail with Harvey. 5 guys. Good to see you. Give me a few likes, guys. I appreciate you for being here. We have a great show ahead of ourselves tonight. The main topic is manhood. You as a man must come first. You as a man must come first. That's our topic tonight, manhood. Like I said, Harvey is with me. Talk to us, Harvey.
Thanks for having me on again. What's up, fam? Manhood. What
There
can
we
you
go.
say? It's an action.
There you go.
It's not a verb. It's a verb. It's not a noun. It's an action.
There we go. I'm already excited. Okay, save the big wisdom for later. Save the big insights for later. Thank you for being here, boy genius, boss at home, my faithful brothers. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And just like that, we are going to hit this thing. Fred Grosvenor, forgive if I mispronounce your name. Forgive me. I have to catch up on all of your vids. I'm glad you're back. I've been back for a minute, but thank you, bro. yeah. Thank you. You must have been one of the guys who've been here for like basically from the beginning. Yes. Thank you for being here. We have a great show. The Rock is in the house. So Fred, yes, do your best to catch up on our on the contents. You will be blessed. I've been having a lot of great men on the podcast, a lot of great interviews. Harvey is here. This is his second stop, his second interview thus far. I want to say so far because definitely he has to keep coming back. And also, I want to say thank you to Adonis Wilson, who is our personal trainer, and he was the one to make the contact. If you remember, Harvey, the first time Rock introduced us, the live had not started yet. I was still building the studio.
Gotcha.
We didn't meet on the basis of any of this work. It was just we're in the jam. He trains you, he trains me, and he introduced me to you saying, you are one of the most intelligent men he's met. That's what he said that time. And I said, well, then it's good for me to know you, brother. But it didn't have anything to do with this work.
Right, I remember.
I was still building the work, and then here you are on your second interview. So thank you, Rock. I wanted to say thank you and appreciate you. He also introduced me to another young man who's an upcoming actor. He's already played a few, Mike, right? Yeah, he's already played a few movies. He told me that he thinks Mike will be a great fit to talk to the young man about his success he's already having and also how he stays on top of his game as a young and upcoming actor.
Right.
So thank you, Rock. I appreciate you greatly for everything from the juice to workout to these contacts that you've been giving me. Thank you. Well, tonight we are here to talk about manhood. Manhood, and the subtitle is You as a Man Must Come First. So whatever we're going to be talking about will fall under that. How do you come first? What is manhood? What is a man? What is a man to do? What are perhaps the different areas that fall under manhood? We are hoping to accomplish a clear picture at the end, like to give you a clear picture of what your life at least ought to be as a man.
Right.
And then that can serve you as a template, and you can go and fill that and make it whatever you want to make it.
Ooh, let's go real basic. Being a man, you have to acknowledge that you didn't create yourself.
Dang.
It was God, the universe, or whomever you observe as your deity. You was created and you was purposed. As a child, we grow up with rites of passage. Different cultures from around the world have their boys go through rites of passage in order to become a man.
Correct.
Now, in America, rites of passage is just like understanding social dynamics, is understanding that you're not Billy Badass until you meet Billy Badass and you beat him. Is understanding the pecking order as you grow up, because with each stage of your life, getting into your manhood, you go through different stages of life. So you have to understand where you fit in. You understand social dynamics with other children, girls, boys, how to deal with older people. You have to be willing to learn, because it's going to be your job one day to teach somebody else. Whether it's your child or a kid on your block or whomever, you're going to end up, you learn responsibilities in order to teach responsibilities.
Let's back up a little bit.
Sure.
Harvey. So elaborate a little bit more when you said you were purposed. You did not create yourself, whether we want to say you were created by a God or by the universe or whatever. I'm going to say it in a language that I'm more familiar from the Rose Cross path. I'm actually a Rosicrucian. The God of your heart. Okay, so whether you were created by the God of your heart, because you said whatever deity that you subscribe to.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So tell us a little bit more, according to your understanding, you were purposed.
Well, I believe in God. I believe the universal God. I believe in that we just didn't decide in our own minds to pop up. But we are destined for something. It is our journey to find out what it is. So you don't know your purpose off the bat, but you will get little tidbits as you grow up, because you start to understand some of the gifts that you have. It's like having a gift but don't know how to control it.
Right.
So you have to be around people that may see your gift, and they may assist you in polishing it as you get older and get into your understanding of who you are, what you're able to do.
So are you saying that from this perspective, every man has a purpose, a gift?
Yes. Every man has a gift. We don't know what it is when we're born or even as children, but we show glimpses of it as we grow up.
Sure.
It's like my mom told me I was the professor. Why? I don't know. That moniker stuck. So
and you are now
I'm a tutor, statistician,
right?
And yeah, I'm a professor pretty much.
So for me, ever since I was little, I've always been told I either need to be a lawyer, a professor, a teacher, a pastor / public speaker.
Okay.
And of course, I tried a lot of other paths. And
so did I. So did I.
At 40 now, well, I mean, for the past 5 years, I've been streamlining those things that people have spoken because they saw them in me. So I stopped seeking those other paths. I stopped trying to be a hardcore entrepreneur, so to speak, although it's in me, but it's not the primary gift in me. The primary gift in me is speaking, inspiring, encouraging, motivating, and enlightening people. That's the primary gift in me, although I can successfully run a business, and I have. So I had to make that switch to narrow my life down to my gift. So you're saying, and I am agreeing, that your gift will be something that people in your life will show you or will talk about or will say you have in you, correct?
Correct. And part of it is you have to, and if these are people that you value, now it's not always about what people say. It's about who says it that you lend credibility to. Because a lot of people can say a lot of crap. But if you don't believe in who they are, you don't need to receive it. But if somebody says you're a smart man, and based on their actions and how they conduct themselves, if they hold themselves above board, then that's something that you can believe in what they're saying. You know, it's kind of you learn to have discernment as you get older. Because everybody that's with you ain't for you.
Right. That's interesting. As it relates to gift and personal purpose, I've learned two things from the church. That there are two components or two elements that are necessary for a gift to take effect in your life, right? The first component is revelation, and the second is confirmation. And one of the two will come from you. So the revelation could be, if it comes from you, you've always had a feeling and a sense that you are to do this thing. And you've always felt like you are especially talented in this particular area. That's the revelation. It's in you. You're aware of it. And then the confirmation would be people outside of you confirming, saying, Harvey, you're very good at teaching. I think you should consider teaching. That complete the gift that will take effect. And vice versa, where the revelation of your gift can come from an external source, where people can cause you to become aware of your gift by them saying to you, I think you are a leader. You are a leader. You have a way of speaking into people's lives. You have a way of motivating people. You have a way of giving people clarity. That could be the revelation. And then if I had never had the revelation, now I'm confirming that inside of me by saying, you know what? I think that's true though. I've always had a sense that I have clarity in my life. Right.
So, prime example, I used to work for the IRS. And in the job I did, I was so good at it that it became I didn't have to think to do the job. But I did it so well. And when anybody needed help, I would just help them because I just wanted to talk, get out my desk. But I was able to bring clarity to them in how to perform their job better. It got to the point where people were saying, Harvey, you should teach. And I'm like, nah, that's too much responsibility because it's too much work. Because I already know how people can act because I've been a student.
Right.
And I know how some students are with their instructors. But I decided to teach. And rest is history. Because once I got the confidence in the actual position of teaching and knowing how to teach because I knew the work. It was just how to deliver the work so that everybody could understand. And once I was able to do that, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. It was like my demeanor made it seem like I was the head person in charge, even though I was just an instructor, because I knew the work backwards and forward and knew the operation. So it was kind of in the reverse. I got the confirmation, but then I received the revelation, because I had to start believing in me that I can do it.
Cool. Great. Awesome. So guys, if you're learning, you're gonna hear basically, here is a summary of what we have said so far, what Harvey has said so far. You were purposed. You were not created on your own. You did not will yourself to come to this earth as a man. You were purposed, which also means that you have a gift, a personal talent that you flourish in, that is innate in you, and that might come very easy for you when you operate in it. And then the two components to finding that talent, or to actually operating that talent, for it to take effect, the two elements that are necessary are a revelation and a confirmation. The revelation can come from you, meaning that you've always felt like you were to do this particular thing, or you are good at doing certain particular thing, and then people outside of it, outside of yourself, confirm that. And once those two elements come together, then you have a gift in you that you can now nurture, because you must nurture your gift so that it takes effect, so that it comes out and you begin to live it, as opposed to you just know that you have it. People are confirming it forever, but you're not operating in it. It's not serving you, and it's not serving your community or the world at large.
100%.
Absolutely. So Harvey, what is manhood? Don't go too deep, so that I can ask you a lot of questions. I want to answer the questions.
Okay.
As we go.
There's 4 components of it. Now, I have a t-shirt. If you can see the t-shirt, it says lead, protect, mentor, and serve. You have to lead by example, protect those who can't protect themselves, teach, and serve, meaning that it's not about you. You have to be willing to give, to help those who can't help themselves. Those are 4 components. I mean, there's plenty of components to being a man, but those are 4 that come to mind that's easily relatable.
Right. And that will give our guys a good start.
Yes.
Earlier, you said that manhood is a verb.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
It's an action. Anybody can be.
So it's an action verb.
It's an action verb, because everybody say, I'm the man, or I'm a man. Yes, according to the dictionary term, you're really a grown male. Really.
Correct.
A man is, depending on definitions, depending on who's your prototype of what a man is. A man is a man is an individual that's a male that handles his business. That doesn't do stupid stuff to get himself in trouble all the time and try to get bailed out. A man is a male individual that take care of those that he cares about. That sacrifices, meaning that he's willing to protect those that he loves, his family, friends, girlfriends, wives, sisters. A man is a provider. First. We are all consumers, but a man provides. He has to know how to provide for himself so that he can be more adapt to be able to provide for others.
Okay, let's stay here because that you got to one of the main points on my agenda.
Okay.
And that's exactly what our subtitle says, right? You as a man must come first.
Yes.
You just said it, that you must be able to provide for yourself first so that you can provide for others.
Correct.
Let's sit here for a minute.
Okay.
Because one of the issues that our young men face and that I used to face is the confusion of what am I to do first in this life? So let's say I didn't put myself to school, right? My parents put me to school, so I didn't choose that, of course. So I don't have the burden of whether I should go to school or not. But perhaps by the time you're 18, you realize that, okay, you know what? I didn't choose this, but it's good. It's going to help me in society, so I might as well stay here, right? But let's assume you graduated high school or you did some college or whatever, but now you are at the age where you can make your own decision. One of the things that baffle our young men, which beset me too, is what do I do first in this life? And of course, we already know we are naturally wired to chase women. So we chase women and we do it as if it were the first thing we ought to do.
Okay. I got something for you. What do you have to offer a woman when you first start off? I mean, for real, you got
nothing. Well,
you have your personality, your character, but all that.
And your D.
Please. You got to look like something to even be presentable, to have the opportunity maybe to give her some D. But how you going to give, number one, remember, things have changed over time. It's not about personality no more. It's merely about appearance.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Is coming off thinking that you're the man because you have this so-called swag, but it's false.
Have you heard of Kevin Samuels? Yes. We talked about him before, right?
Yes.
He talks a lot. He emphasizes, which is actually the whole foundation of his show is high value men. Whether you agree with it or not, a lot of men on his show are into the business of becoming a high value man, right? And then
but there's a problem. What is considered a high value man?
Right. So we can get to that. Maybe we can make a show on that. We can because it's too big, it's too macro to even say something about it right now. At least I don't think we would do it justice. I think perhaps we can make a half of a show. We can make it half of a show, a whole show, just like Manhood is a whole show tonight.
Okay.
So there are men who are dedicated to becoming that. So part of becoming a high value man, according to him and the proponents of that idea, is the fact that you are able to transform yourself, to work on yourself while you're young until you get to your mid-30s, for example. Because like you just asked the question, if you just graduated high school and you're seeking women, you don't really have a lot to give women. Because, for example, women around your age, 18, 19, 20, are looking for older men, 20, 25, 26. Because those young men perhaps already have a job, maybe just got their first car. At least they can give her a ride. They can take her to the movies, right? But when you're 18, 19, 20, you can't do that. You don't have that to offer her. And that's why young women tend to look towards older men because they're about security first. And older men seem or tend to have a little bit more security to provide her than men around her age.
Correct. But I would say it all depends on how the guy was raised as well, because I had 2 jobs at 16. I went to college at 16. I worked through college. You know what I'm saying? And So I already had responsibilities on my mind from a young age because I was taught that. You know, I was taught you had to earn your keep. And that kind of speeds up your coming into your manhood. Because if you're given responsibilities, you actually get to cherish what you do and what you earn because you wasn't given it. You wasn't given it. You worked for it. The work makes you value what you have even more.
So if we want to go back to the main idea for this little section here, we would say when you're first coming out, a woman or girls are not what you should do first based on you saying you have to provide for yourself. You have to be able to provide for yourself before you can provide for others.
Yeah,
before you can provide for a woman. So then choosing to do things for yourself first is what a young man ought to do.
But we're young. We're being led by our lust, our sexual fortitude. So, of course, if you are in a position where you could get girls easy, we're gonna go with that. If you're the all-star basketball player on your high school team, it won't be a problem getting girls. It wouldn't be a problem, and that could be your focus. Could, but it's still an individual thing, and part of that is also comes from your background. You know, so it's still kind of a yes, we like girls. However, you have to still make decisions on what path you want to take, or can you balance it? Some guys can balance it, even at a young age.
Right.
So it's kind of a choice. Bottom line, you know, it's still it comes down to a choice. So if you want to chase girls without working on you,
well, Harvey, even if it's a choice, but then we urge, if you're watching, if you're listening, then this is your opportunity to at least wake up to this fact that we urge you to work on yourself first. We urge you to, and I didn't listen to that. I don't know where you did, Harvey, but I didn't listen to that. I thought when I was growing up, trying to get a piece of that was the thing that I was supposed to do first. Do you know, up until my early 30s, I said to myself and to a woman that I was dating, babe, I have some things I need to do in this world, but I want to be with you first. I want us to establish our relationship, have a good relationship going, and then I will go into the world to do the things that I need to do.
she probably looked at you like you was crazy.
She never said anything. I don't think she didn't say anything, but I believe that she instinctively knew that it wasn't going to work.
Yes, because
and the way that played out is a man is supposed to pursue his purpose first, choose his purpose first, himself first, make himself come first, and then be with a woman and then bless society. And of course, she couldn't respect me. It wasn't like I was the man of the relationship. It couldn't be. It couldn't be because I put her first. I put her on the pedestal. It was about her. I was always seeking to make something about me and her, to go out or do something for her or say something to her. She was the primary pursuit, my primary pursuit at the time. So it couldn't work because a woman needs you to be in your best first, and you can't be at your best if you're pursuing her only. If you're not pursuing your purpose, you're not mastering a craft, you're not stacking your bread, you're not making things happen for yourself, then eventually hypergamy will work against you, which means that she will see it the next man, and the next man will look like the next best choice. And this is where hypergamy hurts. You're with her, but you're not doing anything for yourself, and she sees John out there, but John is doing something for himself. So John looks like the next best choice for security and for status for her. And just like that, you get hit by hypergamy.
Agreed, because that happened to me.
I wonder who that didn't happen to.
I mean, that happened to me. Now,
happened to me more than once.
I had a girlfriend that it was about her, but I was functional in terms of I had a job. I was making okay. I was, still being provided for myself.
Right.
But wanted to make sure that she knows that I'm focused on the relationship as well. And things didn't work out. And the sad part is that she decided, because I broke up with her because of what the other situation, other crap happened. So I couldn't take it no more. So I left.
Right.
So once I started to get my life together, I had to take her, I literally pushed her to the side, ignored her. And she was like, listen, I got a better man than you. Have a nice life. Yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay. But 6 months later, she played herself.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
6 months later, it was like, oh, everything I said about her or trying to build her, she wasn't feeling it. But once she got played, she realized as much as I was focused about her, I was still building, but now it made me have to build even stronger. And like after heartbreak, it's gotten me to the point where I'm about my stilo.
Right.
I am not. Listen, either you're going to ride with me,
right,
or I'm leaving.
Right.
You better catch up.
You come first.
I'm coming first. So it's like only in the sense of purpose.
Yes.
Only sense of purpose.
Yes.
But I know that as long as I'm on my grind, as long as I'm on what it is I'm trying to do for myself,
right,
the women are going to see it. They're going to sense it. And they're going to try to do what they can to assist you.
Right.
Because what you do and the success that you have, they get to revel in it as well. Because we actually, if we're on our purpose, there's going to be a level of loyalty that a woman is going to show you that you would never imagine.
Let's stop here for a minute. Oh, man, this is so deep, bro. I mean, we keep stopping to pick, to pack out little bits of ideas. So, I mean, this thing is so heavy. It was so much. We can talk so long about this topic. That level of loyalty that a woman can show a man who's on purpose is uncanny, although we can understand it, although we can basically break it down. So growing up and up to now, up to the point when I got the understanding, I used to always be puzzled by how well some women serve. By serve, I don't mean like a slave, okay? Respect, be there for, give affection to, never deny sex to, always talks about those time, cooks for, clean the house, give children to. That's what I mean by serving. And willfully, happily, every single day for a man who's on purpose, for a man. And usually people, when I was growing up, people would point out to that couple and they would say, well, it's because of his money. But then that's just the result of him being on his purpose. Now, yeah, women love money, but men love money too, bro. We love money because money will make our lives better. But it's much more than the money. There are women who will cheat on a man who has money, but who's still an animal, who still lacks class or something like that. So it's not so much the money. It's more about his purpose. He's on purpose. He's a man of integrity. He has character. He has worked on himself. He has his word. When he gives you his word, he's going to hold on to that. And that makes her respect him more. And of course, he has that money. And she finds security and her soul finds satisfaction and he sticks around. Until I understood that, that used to puzzle me because, like I said earlier, growing up, I used to think to myself, man, I just want to find me my woman, my soulmate to be with so that I can live this life, so that I can make myself what I need to be. But then that means the only thing I had was just me and my clothes. I didn't have anything else. So I couldn't offer anything of value. And if a woman said, well, we need to make more money, we need to have more money to spend. So let's say I moved in, a woman and I moved in together, and she's like, well, we need to make more money. It was like, we just need to look at our expenses and cut some of our expenses because I was not... My mindset was like, well, let me go and increase my skills so that I can make more money. But she was looking for more financial security, which I couldn't provide. And so, well, she did what they are wired to do. Leave. Hypergamy struck me. I got hit by hypergamy. She left.
Well, the ironic part about it is she was about the status of the secure. She loved the security or the idea that you were secure until you, if you didn't upgrade,
right?
Since you talked about downgrading by taking out stuff that she was used to having, made her feel like, nah, I gotta
bad
go.
Move, man. Bad move.
Even though it was logical.
Right.
Even though it was logical.
For a man. Right.
For a man.
Mm-hmm.
But since y'all live together and the fact that she saw that certain lavish gifts that she was used to having is going to be cut, that automatically like, nah, I gotta go. I gotta have my Netflix. You trying to cut off Netflix? I'm gonna find a man that got Netflix.
Right.
Because those are the attributes that were important to her.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make you a bad person. It just made you see what she was all about.
Right.
That's all. Because we could really be minimum. Men can actually be minimalist if we had to. Because as long as we have food, clothing, shelter, and a way to provide for ourselves, we're good.
We're good. Not the woman. So what we are saying is your manhood comes first.
Yes.
Your gift that the universe has endowed to you comes first.
Yes.
Providing for yourself comes first. Making yourself the best man for yourself comes first, even before getting a woman, because you're going to be sadly mistaken. You're going to hurt emotionally when that woman chooses another man. And she will, because let's not even get into that morality aspect of, no, let's not even get into that.
And I'll add this.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're providing for yourself, you still have to be a steward of what you have. So if the gift that you have and you're using it the right way, you're invested in it to make it better, you're using it to better people, you will be blessed with more because you showed that you're able to do more with less. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's kind of like, growing up, we had to use, when we did math on paper, right?
Right.
But it made us critical thinkers.
Yeah, we had to learn our tables. We had to know our tables. Yeah.
And now they're using calculus at such a young age is that they're losing something.
Correct.
So it's like, if you have a gift, you have abilities, you have to keep using it to make it more efficient so that you'll be able to receive more with less effort, so that you're able to become more responsible because you've showed yourself to be responsible with this little, because your gifts is going to put you in a position to be for exposure, for more opportunities. And trust me, women are and will sense that. You may not advertise it.
Say it. Just go for it.
You may not advertise what you're doing, but they can sense you building.
Women sense your energy. I tell my guys being clients, coaching clients, women unconsciously pick up your energy. If you can only tap into the unconscious programming of the female mindset, you will be empowered. I don't want to say you will have an advantage, but you will be empowered. At least you will know what to do. She can pick it up. She sees you. She sees two men coming. Those two men are together. They're walking together or they're talking together, and a woman shows up. She knows which one is doing something and going places, and which one is wasting time not doing anything.
Because even at my former job, I was told that I have a bad attitude, but when things hit the fan, they always come to me. So irregardless of this subjective view of me, they already knew I knew what to do because I was the best. It wasn't something I tried to advertise or try to wear it as a cape. It was just they knew because people saw me in action, so they sense it, and you just do what you got to do. And the biggest thing about being a man and having gifts and abilities is that you have to be so aware of it that you don't allow yourself to be corrupted by it. Because people who are highly intelligent or very capable can use it for perverted means. Right, correct. So even being a man is being responsible of the gifts that you even have, that you don't use it, that you use it correctly for the betterment of others. Some people have used their gifts for selfish reasons. They have used their gifts for manipulation.
Correct.
So being a man is understanding there's a time to be. It will help you understand your morality barometer. It will help you understand ethics. Being a man, you will understand how to code of the streets. Right. And I think that's what's missing, because even being a man, we're supposed to pass down certain things to the youth. We're supposed to teach. We're supposed to mentor the youth. That is our responsibility. And the unfortunate thing is that a lot of youth don't understand code of conduct. They don't understand when grown folks are talking, you shut the hell up. Right. Little things like that. Little things like that. And put themselves in a bad situation, because I would rather for a kid that knows me to learn it from me, because I can deal with them because I know the child, than for them to learn that with a stranger. And the way they will discipline them will be totally different.
Yeah, man, we have talked. We have said some things. Man, this subject is so deep. It's so you can go on so many tangents. I mean, the branches are so many, and you can choose whichever one and however number of them. So let's give these guys the opportunity to send some questions and make some comments. Boss at home, boy genius. Anything you guys want to say? What are you guys getting from this conversation? Send questions and comments, guys. A hold on. We have 5 guys on. Anyone of you have any questions, guys? Any? Give me a thumbs up. Anybody, just give me a thumbs up. Oh, you guys are not hearing us? No, the likes are going up while we're talking. All right. Somebody's saying something. For a quick second, I'm like, you guys are so quiet. Yeah, I know. We know it's a deep topic. We know it's you got to be there to be there. You got to come to the place to be there. But at least the universe has sent the conversation your way. At least we're not here talking about how to get girls, but we're talking about how to put yourself first and put your life first, put your life purpose first, put your gift first, so that hypergamy is in your favor, so that your woman keeps choosing you as the next best choice every time. All right, so let's read Boss at Home, being a leader, and how the youth have not been taught conduct. So many gems you guys are dropping. Absolutely. Indeed. Absolutely. I don't want to commit a logical violation by using a hasty conclusion or generalization, but I wonder if this meat is too strong.
How else are you going to get it?
Huh?
How else are they going to get it? At this point, there's a war out there, and masculinity is its target, and we as men have to make sure that we are strong to withstand this onslaught. Because let's look at the four main components, or 4 components I mentioned: protect, lead, protect, mentor, serve. Lead. You lead by example.
Right. You lead yourself first.
You lead yourself first, because somebody's going to be watching you, how you make your moves, how you do things, how you interact with people, how you stand up.
Yeah.
Those are the things that help you lead, because we have to learn at one point to follow, which means that we have to learn for somebody else who's been there, done that.
Right, correct.
And that's why I said, when grown folks are talking, young folks need to shut up,
right,
because they may be dropping jewels and you're running your mouth trying to be grown, but you don't know anything.
Right. Until you're really grown, until you really step into that manhood.
Right.
And now you get an opportunity to talk yourself.
Right.
Where people can hear. Boss at Home says, it took years for me to realize that I come first. Me watching you guys build on this platform is totally inspiring to me. Absolutely. It took me years to to realize that, and realization is only part 1.
Right.
Because part 2, you still have actually put yourself first. You have to get to the place where you actually put yourself first. And that's not selfishness, or a level of it is selfishness, because you have to be selfish in terms of choosing yourself first, in terms of putting yourself first, in terms of doing what's best for you first. One of my mantras is I always make the best decision for myself.
Right.
And I believe in that thing crazily.
Can I add to that?
Go ahead, yes.
Now, sometimes saying a no is a win-win.
Yes.
Because if that no saves you, it got to be a no. Because the yes has to be both parties are winning from the decision that you make. So sometimes you have to say no to save yourself.
Yes. I mean, this thing goes so deep. Sometimes you have to give up what's good for your flesh and your immediate life in order to get what's better for your future and your spirit and your soul. For case in point, so let's say you're in a relationship with a woman. I mean, you love the sex, she's beautiful, but that's for your flesh first. But spiritually, you guys are not connected. You're not going to the same place. You can't plan together. You can't, I mean, you don't see her in your purposeful future, right?
Right.
When you start coming to the place of manhood and being responsible for yourself and putting yourself first, some men have, including yours truly, left that relationship. We have chosen my future purpose first. I have chosen my future life, my future self first, than the current immediate gratification of my physical senses, whether it's seeing her, touching her, talking to her, and having sex, or just her cooking for me or doing laundry for me. But then all that serves as a resistance for my purpose. So I had to choose my purpose, which was in the future. So I had to go through that pain of losing immediate gratification for a potential longer life of fulfillment.
And gentlemen, in manhood, you will make mistakes. And it's fine. You will encounter making mistakes.
Absolutely.
To grow.
It's necessary.
Heartbreak is not a mistake. It's just the choice you made, event did not pan out.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
And sometimes you have to walk away. It's like you don't seek gratification if you're already in a relationship. My opinion only.
Mm-hmm.
If things ain't working right for me in shorty, I'm not going to get another shorty to seek validation that she believes in me while I'm in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, you know what? I'm out. You take time away to figure out what you could do better. You build yourself back up and you get back out there.
Right.
But then as time goes along, you will end up being so focused on your purpose because of the mistakes and all the encounters that didn't work out. Mm-hmm. Is going to make you even more focused on your purpose. Mm-hmm. Then that woman destined for you will come.
Right.
Or the women will come. Now you get to actually...
You have your choice.
You get to sift out.
Right.
You know, but you don't let your success corrupt you.
Right.
Because, like I said, you can...
You know, this is going to be for one or two men who are our age or even younger, who are looking for this strong meat, this understanding to get this thing down packed. Because the young man, in his folly, the Bible would say, that's a biblical language.
Right. Yeah.
In his folly, wants to believe that he's right and everybody else older than him is wrong. I have to be honest with you, man. I've seen this so many times. I've seen the struggle that men go through, having to discover or having to even create priorities in their lives where they are the source of it all. I did a video not too long ago where I said you cannot give what you don't have. Well, see, if you don't have yourself, you can't even give yourself. If you don't have your own attention, you can't give your attention to somebody else. If you don't have money for yourself, you can't give money to somebody else. If you don't have time for yourself, if you don't have self-love, here is the biggest thing. If you don't have self-love, you can't give love to somebody else. And so what we've seen in this society for young men, and some men around our age still do it too, brother, believe me. What these men do is they're busy getting into situations where they have to give what they don't have. And they're always getting hurt by it because you can't give what you don't have.
And that builds resentment. That builds a lot of resentment because you thinking you have something to give because you're doing something. And if it's rejected, and it constantly getting rejected because you don't even know yourself. Mm-hmm. To me, you have to, like you said, self-love. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean fapping. I mean self-love. Right. Knowing who you are, what your tolerances are, what you won't tolerate, the standard.
Knowing yourself, right.
The standards you have for yourself and living it. Mm-hmm. And knowing that when people are really got your back, you'll know, and trust in trusting your gut, being able to start thinking and cut down on the emotion. We should be logical first all the time. Then emotions when it's absolute, if the situation applies, because right now as young men, 25, 18, 20, 18 through 30, you like raw wine where you just got crushed, put in a barrel. So it's not, you're just strong for no reason. As you get older, you with age, you'll get smooth. Mm. And with more experience, you could go from wine, get distilled, take out all the impurities, and you end up being brandy. Mm. And there's nothing good. There's something about good brandy or good liquor that has aged.
Yes,
like a single malt, like a 1972 single malt Scotch is more valuable than Hennessy.
Correct.
So you need
the
time.
The fermentation. Whoa. Mm.
Because you want to be smooth when you get to a point.
So there's this idea, which is actually true, that men get better with age or as they age. Now, it's available, it is true, but not necessarily that all men accept to be better. I can say, by the time, by around 34, I felt like there was a wave of wisdom that was coming over me. There was something that was seeking to talk to me. Something was saying, come here. I need to talk to you about life. I need to make you better. I need to uplift you. And I listened, and here I am. Even this year when I turned 40, I have to say this thing, it's been mystical. It's been amazing how I feel suddenly this light bulb effect, this embrace from God or this embrace from the universe. It seems like I've been lifted up. I've been uplifted. I've been revived. I've been renewed. So men get better as they age because you get to acquire skills, like you said earlier. You get to perfect your game, and you get to stack your bread. And now, all of a sudden, you have something. If you step into your purpose, you have something to offer, not only to yourself, but to the people around you and to the world at large.
Correct. Because at this point, you're at a point where you could just give it freely. Because that's what's in you. That's what's in us to do, is to give, because we're going to provide. We come into ourselves, who we are. We accept ourselves. For whatever we are, we own up. One of the biggest thing about manhood is owning up to your actions. Yeah. So if you mess up, You fall on your own sword.
Yeah.
You do not allow somebody to fall on your sword. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to pass the buck. One of the things about manhood is accepting responsibilities for your actions and deal with the consequences that comes with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like once I got, like you said, self-love, once I really, the actualization of self-love is like, you know what? I'm me.
Right.
Once I said that, and of course I pulled from different sources because you have this ideology, you have this philosophy, but you don't know how to phrase it. You don't know how to put it together. And then once I pull from different sources about a philosophy I've had, but I didn't know how to express it. Once I finally put the pieces together and got the picture,
that was it.
Now it's like I could flow with my philosophy, stand on my square, and not be moved. But that's the part of manhood. It's that time to self-discovery.
Yeah.
And then you get to appreciate what it means to be a leader. You appreciate more about protecting. You appreciate more about serving others. You appreciate being a teacher because it's like you want to have little G's that look up to you because it's like you see in their eyes, I used to do the stupid stuff you guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna learn. But you know what? Come through.
You have to have you get to have compassion.
Yes.
For
others.
And even in my coaching business, I think I've learned that partly from the church, having served in the church and been in the church. The level of compassion that I exercise is the same level that I have been exercising towards myself. You know, some guys would miss our meetings and you text them, they don't text back, you call, they don't call back, don't pick up, whatever the case might be. And I exercise compassion. And of course, a mental health professional doesn't have that level of compassion because they're not doing their work first out of passion or out of what's the other word? Vocation. They're probably doing it out of profession first. Okay. Because compassion comes from self-love. I love myself first. I have compassion for myself. When I fall, I have learned to do that. I have a good grip on that. And so I treat the world around me. Even to the point where I could know that you just did that on purpose. Even to that point, I can still choose not to reprimand you or bring it up and just show you some compassion and give you some time to grow. I'll just say, hey, you're operating in your ego. I understand it. And sometimes I don't even bring it up. It got, depending on what it is. But I exercise a high level of discernment to help me pass on that compassion and love to the people that I interact with, because that's what I have for myself. That's how I treat myself. And so, go ahead.
Exactly, because if you can withstand somebody just being loud, obnoxious, and say to them, you're done. It's like you taking the power away because they expected you to come back with that same emotion because they need that emotion to feed off of. But when you don't give them that emotion back, exercising self-control of your emotions as a man is priceless.
Yeah, that's another whole topic by itself.
But that's part of being a man. If you can hold back, because remember, as men, we control physicality. So it's like a little kid growing up couldn't express the way he felt, So he started.
He got angry.
He got angry. Started throwing stuff, punching the air.
Destroyed the whole house.
Right. And then as an adult, if you don't control those emotions, we're stronger. And sometimes if you're in a relationship, if you are easily irked, and that woman may have said something very innocently to the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, she's going to be the focal point of all of your being mad, angry, and she's an innocent. And it's not going to be because of what she said. It's going to be because of what everybody has done to piss you off.
Right. You've been holding all that in. Healing is another component of this manhood story. It's the lack of healing in men.
I agree. I agree.
You know, we have brothers still carrying childhood wounds, high school, middle school related issues. When they got picked on, it's a lot.
It's a lot, and
It's a lot.
I can speak from experience. When I learned to forgive a family member, and I said I forgive you, because I didn't want that on me anymore. That put a relief off of my shoulders.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to carry something from old and
Into a new life.
into a new life,
Yeah,
especially as an adult.
You're putting new wine into old wine skin. It's gonna kill it. It's gonna bust it.
Right. And if we made mistakes, you have to forgive yourself first.
Yeah.
Because if you could actually forgive yourself, then you will have the ability to forgive others.
Others. Yeah. Remember, you can't give what you don't have. Someone said, don't remember who, that someone said resentment or holding grudges or unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expect the other person to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's not affecting
Them.
it's affecting you, and you're the one with all this built up stuff, and you want to attack them, but it's like it's not affecting them, because if you're at least able to express how you feel, whether they say they agree with you or they dismiss it, as long as you get it out, then at least you got it out.
Yeah.
So if you let it go with your words, let it be in the ether and just walk away. Because sometimes we can hold something and it could be a physical manifestation. Become a physical manifestation. It could be migraine headaches. It could be some other
psychosomatic effects on our body. And of course, if you have spent time looking into that, you will know that some of the most common conditions of physical health are actually psychological / emotional issues having an effect on the body.
Right.
Heart palpitations, heart issues, hypertension, sugar. Yep. And a host of others are actually psychological issues. And they have at the top of the list are unforgiveness, resentment, unhealed wounds, jealousy, hatred, self-loathing. At the top of that list, those things, if gone unchecked, if gone unheeded, unhealed, produce those physical effects on people. And you have a guy or a gal walking around with a sugar issue. Now, I know, somebody's going to say, no. Medically speaking, sugar has its root over here. Hypertension has its root over there.
But there's been many studies from Eastern civilizations that talked about this.
Yes, sir.
And then you forgot one more component that we've left out. Pride.
Pride. Yes, pride. Thank you.
Pride, it will get your behind, and it's like you don't. What they say? Don't write a check that your butt can't cash, because your mouth will get you in trouble way easy, but your body will have a harder time to get out of, because we may think too highly of ourselves, and we're not as bad as we thought we were. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen when a guy tried to get full of himself, get undressed by a woman badly, because his pride, his idea of his status.
Yes, his self-aggrandization is the word.
Self-aggrandizing. Yeah.
The Bible says that pride comes before destruction, or that's one verse actually. Pride comes before destruction. When a man or a woman has pride, destruction is coming. The end result is self-destruction, and in destroying themselves, they may end up destroying their immediate environment.
Exactly.
So, and that's one. And there is another passage that says, when you see a prideful man, you run, you get out of his company. You don't keep company of a prideful man, because what? Destruction is coming. Self-destruction is coming. And you are so right. Pride is at the one of the few at the very top of the list of those things that can affect your health. And the truth of the matter is, when people are healed of those things, they stop being physically sick.
Exactly. And it's kind of like people who are prideful. My mom always say, stop acting like your ish don't stink. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, and like you said, people will heal from the inside if they heal their mind and their soul.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, salvation.
Yeah.
You got to have mercy and grace upon yourself.
Yeah. It's interesting that we are evoking self-love, compassion, healing in a conversation about men. When I was growing up, I don't think those three things were like, it wouldn't be a comfortable conversation to be had to talk about self-love, compassion, and healing for a man. Because first of all, where a man was supposed, I think some people still have that, a man's supposed to be so hard, like a steel with no emotions, or at least doesn't express your emotions. You're a man. You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to show emotions. You're not supposed to say it hurts. If she says something, or your mom says something, don't seek to try to explain yourself, because you're a man. Just take it in. And a man, at least up to my early 30s, a man was not supposed to say it hurt, or I have something that's bothering my spirit and I need healing. Now that's been changing. It's been changing the past 15 years or so. Right. I think it's been changing.
It has. How I grew up, when you got talked about, because I didn't have a comeback, I held it in. But it was like, it made me tough, because it made me have to, I want to show them in a different venue. You know what I'm saying? But also, it actually is, that in itself is a rite of passage. If you're around grown folks and they making fun of you, and you stick around, if people make fun of you, they like you. They really do like you. I know it's kind of...
Right, because at least they're not despising you. They're not ignoring you.
Right.
Because you're on their mind.
Exactly.
That's an investment of their own time, energy.
Exactly. Because I've been fortunate to have adults teaching me inspiring me. I have adults who have pulled me to the side, be like, "Yo, Harv, I know you manage, but calm it down. Calm down a little bit." You know what I'm saying? Still be respectful. You can still flirt, but watch how you flirt. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed because they've taken the time because of how they were raised.
Right.
I think we lost that art of being able to pull people to the side and be like, "Yo, let me talk to you about something."
Yeah.
Because the unfortunate thing is you have young men and even teenagers who have this attitude like, "I don't need nobody to teach me because I know everything," because they take their cues from social media.
Ugh.
And social media is
A curated facade. It's curated. You
Right.
get to decide. You see, when we
you
were
don't even decide. The
you go.
algorithms decide because as you use social media,
it learns.
it learns you to
Right.
make it more efficient because all they want to do is get paid from the ads
Right.
based on what you're looking at.
Right. You're being sold. You're the product being
Yes,
sold. Right.
exactly.
By decision, I mean, by curation, I mean, so for example, in instance of a picture, you can take a picture, remove the background, put another background, change the exposure, make the picture beautiful. That's the control of portraying a self that's not there.
Right.
People are busy portraying a self that's not there on social media. When you and I were growing up, whoever showed up, that's who they were.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
you couldn't curate, you couldn't embellish your body more than taking a shower, put on some good clothes, and cutting your hair and trimming your beard, and that's it.
Because the only thing that's going to tell people who you are is when you open your mouth.
Yes, it was what was in the inside of you. But today, man, you know, having been in this content creation part of this experience, seeing how much functionality, how much control you have over the video and the images, and how people, I mean, there are two different people. The person on this picture is definitely not the person in real life. Like they're not the same person. And the little thoughts, snippets on, "Oh, have a great day, everybody enjoy your life." That person is very sad when they wrote that.
And it's kind of condescending to some extent, depending on who reads it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's not real. It's not authentic. It's seeking attention.
Yeah. It's sad, bro. Perhaps you and I are at the place where we can use technology and everything that falls under technology more so positively and productively. I now do. At this point right now, I use technology productively and healthily. But there was a time that wasn't the case. And of course, that's not the case for the majority of our guys. That's not the case. We know that's not the case because we know they're still jerking off. We know they're still watching Triple X videos. They're still looking at Instagram models. And they still have those apps, Tinder, OnlyFans, and some other apps. Things that are destroying their souls.
And the war is for your soul.
Yeah.
And if you give that up, that's game, set, match.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from that. Because remember, your soul is infinite. It's eternal.
Right.
And if you give it up, it's you're gonna feel something that shouldn't be fueled.
It's disheartening to see what men have become. When I was growing up, men had a better position in society without fighting for it. It was, okay, That's a man. I'm going 18, 19. That I was expecting to receive my rite of passage, and that wasn't. My parents weren't going to kick me out, but I was going to have to decide that okay, it's time for me to venture out to go make a man of myself, to enjoy a better quality of life by providing for myself however I could.
Mm-hmm.
But that somehow has either been lost or is confused.
It's a little bit of both.
That takes us round back to an original a point that we made initially, that men are confused about what they are to work on first, who they are to work on first, what they are to pursue first, what comes first, priority in a man's life. So we had a question. I want you to answer that question first from Boss at Home. It's a quiet chat room, and we do know why. I do know why. It's a strong meat discussion. It's not milk. It's not game. It's not semen retention in the sense of where, feel the raw power and go out there and be a man. It's not. It's a higher level of development into to being a man. So, Boss at Home asks, you see it on your screen there? There you go. What would you guys say that the most important thing that a man should be focused on first?
We mentioned it before.
Go ahead.
Self-love and self-acceptance.
Choosing yourself.
But just in the sense of not just choosing yourself, but learning who you are, understanding your past, understanding the mistakes, understanding the choices you made and the results from it, and how you could have done it better. It's like playing football and you got to go over game film of the game that you played and see what you did right, see what you did wrong, and what you could do to improve the next time you're back out there.
Right.
It's understanding your position more, meaning understanding what you have to do as a man, meaning that understanding your job, understanding how to deal with bills, how to deal with people interacting. You know what I'm saying? All these little things first. So it's more to it than self-love. It's more involved when the word self-love, self-acceptance.
Right.
It's like, I can't grow any much more than where I'm at right now. I accept that. It's just how can I make what this body is more efficient?
Right. Correct.
And from that point, how I can use myself to be a beacon of hope for others that may be in my position, who will eventually be in a similar position that I'm in right now. Because if you know, then you can show.
If you know, then you can show. True. For me, you really have to work on this entity called you. And with that, part of that is finances, money. And part of that is also self-education, self-development, reading books, watching videos, watching speeches, TED Talks, even purchasing little courses here and there, online courses here and there, and actually watching them or listening to them if they're audio, catching lives like this, little things like that, and actually practicing them to grow yourself into the best self that you can be first. Because until you have your own self, you can't have anything. You cannot have a self to give to nobody else. In fact, the last relationship I worked out of, part of the reason was the woman did not love herself. She did not know herself. It's hard to deal with someone who doesn't love themselves, who doesn't know themselves, when you love yourself and you know yourself, right? So that person is going to treat you at a lower level than you treat yourself. They're going to do things to you according to them is love, but for you, it's very short. That's not love. And for example, so let's say she said she's going to cook for you. And she said, I'm going to get up in the morning and go grocery shop and cook for you. She got up and she called you or texted you that, yeah, I'm on my way to the grocery store. Okay, cool. And you're waiting for food around 4, 5, 6 p.m. So let's say 6 p.m. And only for her to text you at 5:45 or 6:15, worse, to tell you, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell. All of a sudden, I felt so tired. Or so-and-so called me on the phone. My sister from that state called me and I needed to talk to her. And I meant to text you about that, but I didn't text you. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to cook your food tomorrow. Simple, right? You might say. Most men, or I don't know, most people might say, well, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is I don't do that kind of thing to myself. When I tell myself I'm going to do something for myself, I do it. When I'm hungry, I eat. I feed myself.
Because you come from a time where your word is your bond.
Right. I feed myself. And if I'm not going to be able to do something for myself, I communicate that to myself. Like, I take it into consideration. Okay, you know what? Okay, I can't do this today. And I make sure that it's really true. I'm not just being lazy or undisciplined, but it is true that I can't do it, and I'll do it tomorrow. So because I don't disrespect myself like that, and because I care for myself more than the way that person cares, then it can't work, or it couldn't work, because after it happened several times, it's like, okay. You don't understand. That's not how I treat myself. When I'm hungry, I eat. I'm not going to be sitting here waiting for you to cook food for me that you keep having some sort of whatever come up that you can't cook for me and never remember to tell me ahead of time, or right at the moment when the emergency comes up. And of course, whether that was an emergency, that's another issue, right? So, when you know how to love yourself and how to treat yourself, when you choose yourself first, then that's going to dictate how to interact with people. And I know, like, in contact with you or any other man or even woman, I have the highest level of respect for you, because that's what I have for myself. My respect of you is really first because I respect myself. Because I love myself, I'm going to show you, I'm going to take actions towards you that demonstrate a high level of respect.
It's the golden rule.
Treat others as you would
treat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like little things in life. You learn courtesy. People forgot about courtesy. I mean, a call, or even, we're in technology, so everything's instantaneous. So if something comes up and it's going to impede on something that you have said you want to do, send a text right then and there, so that you won't have the expectation of something being fulfilled when it won't.
Right. And a lot of times too, it's not, the technology is there, the tool is there, right? But we have to use the tool. It's not that the person has not come up to the place of respecting themselves, and so therefore Has a woman ever asked you that question, or even a man? So what's the big deal? I told you I'm gonna slide back tomorrow and give it to you. Right? That simple question. It sounds like a simple question. Whoa. I mean, David. What do you mean? I told you I couldn't do it today. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But then this is the 10th time this has happened, and the reasons you're giving me for it to happen are not reasons beyond your control.
Then you have to if you see certain trends occurring, then you got to cut it off at the pass. You know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, put the blame on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if, like I said, I'm simple. If you're gonna say you're gonna do something, I have a level of expectation, because why? I have that standard for myself. If I say I'm going to do something, if I say yes, if it's something that is truly out of my control, I try to inform the person as soon as possible. If I say maybe, better take it as a no until I tell you yes. My maybe is a no. But if I say yes, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to happen.
Right.
But like you said, but that's a standard I have for myself.
For yourself. And so because a man can't do those things for himself, because he doesn't love himself first, because he doesn't put himself first, because he's walking around with unhealed issues and wounds, he allows the whole world to disrespect him. So let's say a simple thing as dating. You meet a woman, whether you exchange phone numbers with her, or you take hers or she takes yours. At this stage, I mostly give a woman my phone number and let her text, let her call. That's this stage. There was a time when I used to beg for her number. So here we go again with men get better as with age, right? Later on in life. So let's say now this man is text that woman once, she didn't reply. He texts again, and now he calls. Still no answer. And he's still talking about that woman, and he's still considering that woman to be part of his thought and his reality. And I'm like, no. You gotta have self-respect and self-love. It wasn't an accident that person didn't reply. It wasn't an accident they didn't call back.
But that's when age will help you discern that sooner. Or experience, because it doesn't have to be age. Your experiences can bring discernment about situations,
right?
So you'll learn if she doesn't call, text, or whatever, then you know what, chalk it up. And if she calls back, then you deal with her accordingly.
Right. And I like that, accordingly. I like the accordingly, because perhaps what she has to say as to why she didn't text back or call could be worth consideration.
Exactly. You don't cut the losses off. You give opportunity to hear it out. If you choose,
if that call is made, if the person
if the call is made, the person comes back, then you go ahead and listen. But tread lightly, because now it's about the other person's action to show you, because of the position they put themselves in by their lack of action.
I will tell you, I actually live my life every single day with a lot of pain for the things that I see men go through, and for the things that I have been through, that I have solved, that I have healed, that I see men experience every single day. It's not easy out there. And even when you are working with the men. Even when the man has the information, it's still hard because there's still the self-loathing and self-hate on the inside where the man seeks for the pain. He wants the pain. It's unconscious, but then there needs to be work in that area for him to even to accept, to choose what works for him.
The ideal of, once a person wants to become a student, a teacher will come. Now,
Right.
it's all about presentation as well, because certain things may not resonate as well with others. Like you said, there may be some people who teach out of pain. And because they teach out of pain, it resonates with them because it's like, oh, you talking my language. We're talking as if we accept the fact that we've had the pain, but we know how to overcome it. Yes, it doesn't bother me that I see some of the guys the way some young men 25 to 30 act. Yes, because I look at it like this. These parents were raised, let's say the 60s or whatever the case may be, born in the 60s, and they've experienced a lot. But it's like, how were these lessons not passed down? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about when I said the code of conduct. A great man doesn't show. A great man just comes, does his things, go. You don't need to tell people that you're rich because you automatically are being prideful, which of course is going to lead to jealousy, which leads to other things because they're going to want what you have and get it by any means necessary, even if it means taking yours because you showed off.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't even have to show off, Harvey. You could just be living your own life, and another man could just be living his life, and another man is jealous of him just for being for that man being where he is in life. Just period. Just for whatever that man is doing.
They could be jealous, but I don't think they will approach that man that's quiet about it.
No.
They won't approach. They will approach a loud person before they ever approach a quiet person, and that's real.
I had to come to grip with the realization that with every little progress you make in your life, don't expect that everyone who comes in contact with you are in contact with you or is in contact with you for good stuff, like to see you shine more and go forward. There may be people who come in contact with you either to distract you, to prove you wrong, or to poke holes in you, to find that step that you perhaps miss every once in a while, but nobody else sees it, and they want to be the one to see it, to discover it, so they can expose it, because in their minds, there's no way that you could be this strong, and there's no way that you could be this well established in yourself.
Well, in the theater that we call life, there are certain people that can sit in the front row. You have some people that can sit in the back row. You have some people that have to sit in the balcony. Then you got some people that gotta wait outside the actual hall doors. And then you got some people that gotta be outside that can't come in.
And now with technology, you have some people who can only watch via satellite.
Right. So they sideline haters because they would never say that in your face. Because if somebody would talk about my mom in my face, that's a fight. But somebody would get more upset if somebody talk about their mama online than we do in person.
Oh, okay.
Because it's easier to have a barrier. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to have a barrier when you're talking about somebody because you don't think somebody's going to step up to you. Now, I've seen videos where somebody confronted a person who was big talking.
Who said something online. I think I've seen something
and,
like that.
Approached them. Didn't fight them, but just approached them like, say that in my face.
It's a different story.
Because we can't. I tutor a fifth grader, right? And he got into a big altercation. He and a friend ganged up on another kid. When the dissing got too hot, he bowed out. But the other kid that was getting dissed, he dropped a mama bomb on the other kid and wanted to fight. And his mom told me that they were cursing using the N-word. I'm like, boy, number one, if you're going to diss somebody, you could diss many people without using one curse word. Number two, you use a certain word, you don't even know the meaning or the history behind it. Three, if you start dissing somebody, you better wait for the consequences. So when I left, he said something behind my back, literally behind my back, behind the front door. When the front door was closed, he said something, right? And I'm like, I'm not gonna take nobody talking behind my back. And I'm damn sure not gonna let a little kid do that. So I knocked on the door. The mama opened the door. That little boy ran away from me, ran to the kitchen bathroom. And I told him to get out the bathroom, face me, face your consequences.
Yeah, let's talk.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, you're going to kill me. I'm like, you're right. I am. That. You're right. I am. I'm going to kill you.
I like that.
You're going to, but it's going to have to be, I said, you know what? Fine. I'm going to take your KDs. He came out the bathroom. And I told him, yo, if you got something to say to somebody, you say it in their face.
In their face.
In
their face.
In their face, and take the consequences.
Yeah.
Half the time, they're going to probably like, you got some balls for saying that. And give you much respect because you at least had the courage to say it in somebody's face.
Yeah.
As opposed to somebody's back.
We honor courage.
Yes.
Before other stuff.
Right. Because you do that to somebody else that you don't know, that could be the last time you saw that person.
Yeah.
Because people are real touchy-feely right now. You say the slightest little insult, even if it's innocent, that person will start to wild out because they don't have a sense of self. And they felt the insult was violation. That's not violation. That's not even a slap on the hand. That's nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We used to go have joning sessions back and forth just to work on our craft of being witty. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we have to find out where the disconnect came from. And people have to want to know. Some may not want to know because they think they know everything, but we are here to give you wisdom so that you don't have to go through that. Because nothing worth getting humbled. And don't get humble in front of a crowd. Because because since we're in the technological world, everything can be recorded and can be shown over and over and over again, to the point where you get embodied online will cause you to body yourself in real life. Just like in the Matrix, if you die in the Matrix, your actual physical body died as well. So a lot of people this boys and girls, they're getting insulted, they're getting cyberbullied to the point where they don't think their own physical life is worthy because their presence online is being destroyed. So they end up destroying themselves in the process. And that's the messed up part. It's as if this life is now imitating the art. Or is the art imitating life? But the Matrix came first as a movie. But the ideals of it is present and is in your face. But we don't see that. So a lot of people don't see that. There are few that see it, and there are few who have expressed it. But there are many ears who are not willing to listen. So
you mentioned milk before meat. Was it that you said?
Yes, milk before meat.
The other time, I think that, the Bible. I think that analogy comes from the Bible.
Of course.
You give milk to babies and strong meat to mature men. Our men still need milk, and a lot of it.
Well, that's what they say. People are wet behind. We are, when a young man trying to do some things with older women, she gets like, "Boy, you wet behind the ears."
Yeah.
But we're at a point where we can't baby. We've lost that time.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We lost the time to baby.
Yeah.
Now it's like you got to get this meat. You got to get this mental meat now, or you would never get it.
It's unfortunate. Some men, though they may know the strong meat is what their current life situation and their current desire requires, but then they still want the milk. And of course, most people out there are giving them the milk because that's what they have themselves, what they're giving them the milk. I mean, if you see the videos online and the topics that are getting lots of views and engagement, some of them are not even milk. Some of them are just water, pure water. But hey,
Well, I agree, because here's the thing. You can't be child-minded and you going up against, it's like how some young adults think they can flex on an older cat. That older cat got some man muscles. That's grown muscle that you're going to deal with. And I've seen videos where a young man tried to step up to an old guy, and that old guy dealt him a new one.
Damn.
Because you're dealing with grown muscle. Because that grown man knows what his abilities are.
Right. And experience
and experience
is to be respected.
Is to be respected.
Yeah.
But like you said, unfortunately, there's channels that do water, powder. You got regular milk, you got powdered milk.
Yeah.
And then you got water. But it's like, at this point,
yeah,
we're here. It's like my man Booker told me, Harvey, you give a man fish, he won't starve. You teach a man to fish, he will never go hungry. If you teach the man how to buy the lake so that you could charge other people to fish, you eat for a lifetime.
He'll make a fortune. Wow. Yeah, I've never heard the second part. I've heard the first part, but not the buying of the lake.
You got to buy the lake so that other people will fish there.
Right. Now he has a business. Now he has a purpose. Now he's helping others. Dang.
Right. And that's your purpose, to help others.
Yeah.
And yes, would you reap rewards from it? Yes.
This is for maybe 1% of every 100 men who will come on my channel who want to get this strong meat. Every once in a while, I have videos that are strong meat. Every once in a while, I get a good comment on them. Every once in a while. But then, the more popular ones are the ones that talk about literally how to be better, things that can help a man get sex.
Well, but here's the ironic part. Part of manhood is discipline. And with semen retention, that's part of the process of manhood, because it's a discipline.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that discipline in itself, you're actually honoring God in the process, because you're showing restraint. You're showing self-control.
Honoring yourself too, self-love.
And you're honoring yourself, because guess what? You're not self-destructing.
Let me say something on that line. But I woke up this morning, brother. I woke up earlier offline. We were talking, and you said Man, I don't know if you believe that the universe could be seeking, if you believe in the thought or the idea that God can be seeking your attention to speak to you in the universe. So let's connect the two. I woke up this morning and I opened my eyes, and I heard in my spirit, you are renewed. You are a brand new man. And by the brand new man, I don't mean the sense of like the Christian salvation story type of thing. No.
Right.
You are renewed. It was more so as in my physical body, my psychology, and my spirit. And it's more than just a voice. It's also, it is accompanied by a visceral experience. I feel whole. I feel connected. I feel renewed. I feel grounded. I feel present with myself. I've never felt this good before in my life. And the longer I stay on the journey, the longer I continue the journey, the more I do the same things, the more that experience is intensifies. The more it intensifies, the more it gets amplified. And that's what I have to share with men. That's what I have to share, because that's what I experience in the secret of my room, in my own car, in the depths of my own spirit, by myself, one-on-one, me and the spirit. That's what I experience. That's a testimony to NoFap and semen retention. It's a testimony to NoFap and semen retention. Because I could never imagine the life that I'm living today. I couldn't. Well, not when I used to fap several times a day. That's a testimony to NoFap and semen retention. On your journey, we encourage you. We commend you even to begin the journey. We commend you even to be on this channel. You are on the right path. Just like my intro says, you are on the right journey. The journey of self-love. The journey of, what does it say? Hold on. There it goes. You are on the right path. You are on the right journey. The journey of self-discovery. The journey of self-love. The journey of self-empowerment. Stay on this journey. Yeah. You are on the right path. You are on the right journey. If you stay on this journey, you will reap the reward that other men, including myself, have reaped. Harvey, you just completed how many days of semen retention?
I can't remember.
But it's 90 plus.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have to love it.
And life, you have to make a choice. Those who understand track, you could be a sprinter or you could be a marathon runner. You can live life to the fullest and have it come to a short end. Or you can still live life to the fullest, but you gradually spread it out over time.
Okay.
Because life is a marathon.
Not a sprint.
You can sprint, but guess what? Your sprinting only lasts about, using track terminology, not 10 seconds, if that.
A few seconds.
A few seconds.
I watched in an episode of Joe Rogan podcast. He had this guy who's a martial artist, and of course Joe Rogan is a martial artist, as you know. This guy was talking about the idea of people training every day, going hard, like giving your best and your max in the gym or in practice. And he said, no, by the very definition of giving your max, You can't do it every day. You can't give your max every single day. You'll burn out. But now you can maintain a moderation and do it consistently, and in the long run have better results than the guy who's sprinting every day or for longer period than 10 seconds.
Right. Because it's like having a car. You can put the pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
And you could go fast. But it's for you're limited by the amount of energy you have to sustain it.
Yeah.
Now, you can go fast, you could go far, but you're not going to go but so far, but it's going to be a short amount of time. Whereas you can go put your life on cruise and you can have that energy spread for a long time. Every now and then you may have to slow down because of traffic.
Correct.
Or things in life.
Yes.
Or sometimes you have to speed up because you got to get past an object.
Correct.
Or a car, whatever the case may be.
Great analogy.
But you will eventually pass that car that was going
and you want to go back to cruise control mode
and go back to cruise.
You can literally drive that same car for 10 years.
Yes.
Just like you described. But you can't drive that car for 10 years going 100 miles per hour, pedal to the floor all the time. You will wear it out.
Yeah. It's like riding I don't drive stick, but riding a clutch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, you can't, and plus you're going to go that fast. You're going to high rev. You're going to max out your RPM. You're going to go into the red zone.
Yeah.
And remember, you keep revving it to the max zone, the red zone. You're going to end up overheating.
Yeah.
You're going to
blow the head gasket.
Blow the head gasket.
The engine.
Right. And guess what? The car is basically done.
Yeah.
Unless you get a new engine, i.e. your heart.
Yeah.
But then that costs money.
I can attest to that. Having driven a lot of sports cars, I've raced before in Florida. In fact, this is the second non-sports car that I've owned. I wanted to get into the luxury type of cars when I was approaching 40. I've blown 2 engines before, and 1 head gasket. I mean, like the engines that got blown, that was it. That nothing. We couldn't do anything with it. Just got rid of the car. My last Challenger RT 6-speed manual, that was a stick. And you don't buy those cars used. Well, you can, but
somebody already horsed it.
Right. Like you don't want to get a Charger. Well, if it's a V6, okay. Well, even the V6, because the guy driving the V6 Charger, which is the XT, he thinks he's driving a 392 or an RT, and he's going very fast. And I've seen that, right? You don't get a Charger, a Challenger, or even a Mustang GT used, but you can though. But if you come from the experience of what I know and having raced and having driven several of those cars, you don't get it used. Except that you want to build it, you're further, whether you're swapping engine out or whatever you're gonna do. But if you don't wanna do any of that, then you get it brand new because whoever had it dug it out.
Of course, of course.
You don't buy a secondhand Hellcat. Whoever had it dug it out.
Of course. I mean, but that's understanding discernment. That's understanding because of your own experience. You can give that advice to somebody else who's thinking about getting a Charger or a Challenger or Mustang, because you can tell them, listen, don't get it used. Just
proceed with caution.
Or and that's the best line.
Right.
You could tell them all the different things, but whatever you do, proceed with caution.
Yeah. I traded my last Challenger well, I treated it at CarMax, so they still give me good money. They give me 20 grand, like 20 grand even for it, and I didn't lose on it because I owed the company 22. CarMax gave me 20, and the other 2 was covered by my extended warranty that I had on the car. So all that money was sent to the company. I was cleared. I bought that new car without negative equity coming in. So that car was still in good shape, but I did some things with that car. Was the clutch still in great shape? Yeah. Was the transmission still in great shape? Yeah. But whoever gets it or got it is not going to have the same car that I got when I bought it.
Of course.
Because, 95, 75, 285, I used to do no less than 85. And most time you could catch me at 100, 110. And anybody else who wanted it, we had it. We would go for it.
Facts. Facts.
But that's another story.
Facts.
But I've slowed down. I just cruise now doing the speed limit in my little nice car. But these analogies serve to demonstrate how to deal with yourself, how to operate with yourself as a man.
And I would still feed them, giving them milk with the meat.
With strong meat,
because we have to use analogies,
right, to help the mind to understand certain concepts, certain conceptual ideas.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, once you understand that, and you have to talk to older men that you find value in to ask questions, because there are men out there that want to teach. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
But they don't know. They don't have anybody that's willing to listen to them.
Yeah.
Because of the arrogance of some of the cats that, I don't need you, grandpa or old man or whatever. You don't know anything that I don't know myself, because they learn from their phone, they learn from social media, and maybe they learn from their parents, because remember, some of their parents trying to live their second childhood
through their children.
Or not just that, but if it's like how somebody may have started off, like how a woman may have a child early in life,
right,
and that child get to the point where they take care of themselves. That woman may still be young enough to try to pull
another child.
And the hypergamy.
Okay. Were you and Kevin Samuels last night?
No.
Anyways, that was something like that last night.
No.
This lady called, and it was something like that.
No, but it's like one of the songs on Nas's Stillmatic album was Second Childhood. And it talked about the woman.
I love Nas, bro.
The woman ended up having a child early. Now the child's old enough. Now that woman is kind of revisit the year she lost because she became a mother. And then half the time, that mother is trying to compete with the daughter. That daughter is trying to look like the mama. And then sometimes the mama may be jealous of the daughter because of how the daughter was able to pull somebody better than the mama's man.
I'm going to tell you to stop, Harvey.
Did I say something wrong?
No. Because you're getting so deep that let's make... I don't know if we should make that another topic. As you know, the YouTube algorithm does hide videos that have these discussions. They're considered second rate. They don't
because it doesn't give them value, because you can't put ads on this.
Most companies would put ad on topics like this, because somebody can find something wrong with it. Somebody can say this is false information, this is not true, this is misogyny. Somebody can say something. Somebody can take a part out of context and say, well, see, this is what they said. But you have observed well, and I have observed the same thing. I have lived it with women that I've dated who had children. I've heard it from women. that issue of the daughter trying to be like the mother, and there's a fight, a silent, sometimes silent, or most times silent, hatred, confusion, resentment, jealousy between the daughter and the mother, because somebody's gonna say that's not true. Somebody's gonna fight this now because the mother envies the daughter's youth that she, the mother, wasted.
And even for the men, a lot of guys try to live their athletic.
What's the word? Vicariously
through the son. So it's like he's trying to be the coach. He's trying to be the offensive coordinator. He's trying to be the strength and conditioning. But that's that child.
Yeah.
If that child doesn't want to do it, the child doesn't want to do it. But you force them to be in situations that they don't want to be in because you want to live their life. You want to live the life you couldn't live through them because of you wasn't as athletic, or you made decisions that caused your child to be here, what the case may be.
Right.
And it's kind of like, you know, that you forfeit any selfishness. Ideally. You forfeit any selfishness.
So Kevin said something last night. He said, and I attest to that. And I'm not saying that I approve what he said in terms of I know more or as much, but I attest because I have observed that too. That some women, though they may not say it because it sounds cruel to say it, but in so many words, when they talk to you, you realize that they regret having children as early as they did. And that now in the mid 30s, it's like they would want to rebrand themselves, but that rebranding would require them not to have children, in so to speak. But now they have children, and of course they love the children, and they cannot get rid of the children. They cannot say that they wish they didn't have them. You know, I dated a woman who had 3 children, and she told me, David, you and I are 2 different people. You can get up right now and go everywhere. Now, I do have 2 children, but they're grown. I'm 40. I had my son at 18. So he's 22. And she said, you can get up and go anywhere and do anything, but I can't. My kids are young. I have to think about schooling, area that I live, and she said, so therefore, there seems to be a jealousy in me towards both men and women who have more freedom than I have, freedom that I wish I had. And she said, I can't say that I regret having my children because I already have them and I love them. There we go. But sometimes I feel like, man. So...
Well, the sad part about
you guys going deep tonight.
Well, unfortunately, it is the case.
It is the case, brother.
There's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
Other than what you did, you had to walk.
Yeah.
But at least she was cognizant enough to recognize that.
Yes,
which some cannot do. But even with guys, let your child be an example to your be an example, because they're copying from the wrong source because you're not presenting yourself as a source. You know, like if you ignore here's the thing, kids growing up, boys want to know that the dads or men are proud of them. Girls want to know that they love them, that they're loved. Simple concept. It's just that unfortunately people have ignored the young boys have been ignored, and because they have been ignored, because they have not been given boundaries or enforced boundaries or there's other social constructs I could speak about, but it'll be controversial.
Right.
Because there are certain things that are not done to give limits, because kids want discipline, because to them that's a form of love. They seek it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And when they seek it somewhere else, if that person is a predator, they will feed off of that attention that they're receiving to manipulate that young man to do their bidding.
Correct.
Because it's like in gang culture, they love the camaraderie, they love the brotherhood, they love the father figure, the
sense of belonging.
Right. And when you have that power, for them to keep it, because they fear losing it, they're willing to do anything for it.
Yeah.
Meaning that they gotta be a stick-up kid. If they gotta,
that's all gang life is mostly about.
Right.
It's
trap or whatever.
Right. Trap life is the sense of belonging.
Right.
And that's what
or even dastardly other things that I'd rather not mention because it's real. I mean, we could get deep, but it's a lot more than just that. So because they want acceptance, they want to feel like respect means see me.
Yeah.
It means to see me again.
And then that goes back to the fact that these men and sometimes women, because there are areas, you have the area of I don't know if that's what you wanted to mention, wouldn't mention. Well, that's all it is really with the pimp and his, H, many H's is there's a sense of, I mean, some of them don't like that life, yeah, but there's a sense of belonging to this powerful or popular type of guy, and he provides or he orchestrates business. But for men specifically, that's what happens when men grow up in environments where they are not taught to choose themselves first. Because now that they don't have their own attention, now that they don't have themselves to look up to, or actually to look for and to work towards bettering and perfecting, now a sense of belonging to an external entity is stronger than a sense of belonging to oneself.
Well, self-esteem. You have to nurture yourself to, like you say, if you can't even nurture yourself, you can't nurture others.
Yeah, I mean, you can't give nothing you don't have.
Right. And because people have, even I've sought outside validation, but it's kind of like I had it. Like I said, I was fortunate. Like, bruh, you got this. I don't know why. It's like I had to find my voice. I had to. It's like one time I almost got into a fight with my own tennis teammate during a match, and we're playing doubles, and he was just making it seem like I was to blame, and I got so pissed off. And I went off. I said, listen, you snaggletooth, blanky blank. You ain't gonna put all this crap on me. You effing up as well. And my teammate was like, oh shoot, Hard about to kick Willie's ass. So, and the funny thing, we almost won the match. Right? We didn't talk to each other during practice. I avoided him. He avoided me. Yada, yada, yada. But we ended up having to play together again. 2 weeks later. And we were down 5-0 in the third set. We came back and won 7 straight games. So the beauty of what we can do as men is that we can fight each other. But if we have a common goal, that can wash away all the other crap that has happened prior.
Correct.
Because it's not about individuals at this point. It's about team effort to win. So we can't not allow our egos to get in the way.
Correct.
And he was like, Harvey, we're going to win this. And I looked at him like, you crazy. And he kept saying, we're going to win this. Because remember, we had that big fight. So it's kind of like I gained the respect because I stood up. Probably at the wrong time in front of the wrong people. However, it happened. Right. But it was kind of that's another rite of passage, is to be able to defend yourself. Not necessarily physically, but verbally. Like, you got backbone. Because before then, I would take all the disses. I would take all the insult. I was like the topic of discussion turns up being joned on. However, once I defended myself and found my voice with the men, these are grown men, at least 10 years or older. And I've been with those guys for 20 years. I've been playing on the same team for 20 years with these guys. So they got me when I was 22. You know what I'm saying? Because of I stood up, found my voice. It's like, okay, Harvey got some backbone. Okay. You know, it just developed. But it's like, you gotta want to be better than what you are today.
Yeah.
That's a choice. You could stand pat and that's fine and that's okay. But if you want to be better, you gotta put the work in to be better.
The work, brother, the work. Like I was saying, my next guest for next week, and I were talking, getting acquainted for the upcoming show, and I said, bro, do you realize there are men around your age who struggle getting out of bed? So they need to hear from you who are going out there on set, shooting movies, scenes or whatever, and coming to the gym, working out, doing whatever else you do. And when I said that, he said, oh man, I remember those years, bro. Getting out of bed was the discipline I was working on, was the hardest demon to fight, was the hardest thing for me to do. So putting in the work is where our brothers fall. The work.
Because of they don't know what to do or they choose not to do.
I say it's 75-25, the latter and the former. Like 75% of not being able to do the work, maybe 25% of not wanting to do the work. But then not wanting to do the work could also be a byproduct of not being able to do the work.
Wait, you talking about, you said the same thing twice.
I said not being able to do the work, not wanting to do the work could be a byproduct of not being able to do the work.
Okay, gotcha. And Rock says it perfectly. Life is chess, not checkers.
I think I understand these conceptually, but I don't play any of them, and that's some of the regrets that I have. Well, I don't have a lot of regrets, but it's not. It's like, man, I can still learn to play chess, right? You know?
Right, yeah.
Perhaps I don't.
It's like
want to devote the time, but
understand the hierarchy of, let's say, being in the church. Mm-hmm. There's hierarchies,
right?
And there's individuals that they have a specific job to do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because quote unquote the pastor is the top.
Right.
And you have other people that, as it filters down, they're more, it's like associate pastor, deacon board, and then outside the deacon board is other people that do other stuff. So it's kind of like we have to know our hierarchy in life as we go along. Sometimes you got to be a leader. Sometimes you got to be an enthusiastic student. Because I don't want to use followers because followers has such it's become a very negative connotation because
agree.
But you got to understand where position you play. So it's kind of like, don't be a pawn. If you're going to be a pawn, you choose to be a pawn because you have a strategy. Don't be a pawn in somebody else's game and you don't know it. So don't involve yourself in activities that has nothing to do with who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not cut from that cloth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like people can tell people who are green easy. like quick. They got the eyes.
Like I said, this is very deep. Actually, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the comments that will be posted on the videos. I'm looking forward to seeing the views actually, because it's strong meat, not milk, not water. And of course, our society, both men and women, but for our purpose here, men, still gravitate towards milk and sometimes water. What's popular, what's trendy, what doesn't cause discomfort, because this information, the stuff we talked about tonight, will cause discomfort, even in the men who want to learn and grow. There will be an initial discomfort because it's the realization of, dang, I got to put in the work. I got to do the work. I got to go this route. I got to hold the end of, my end of the bargain. And the bargain is life. Like you said earlier on, God gave you life. God put you here. You were created. You were purposed. That's the universe's bargain, end of the bargain. And your end now is to make your life a man, or the man that you're supposed to be. And that takes work, and that takes conscious choice and decision and strong willpower and the tedious, gruesome work of daily practice, whether to establish new, healthier, productive habits, or whether to maintain those habits. It's not easy, but I like to say it's doable, obviously.
Well, let me ask you a question. Have you had moments where you felt like this is some BS?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like, I just don't want to get out of bed. I'm sick of this crap. It's like saying it takes more muscles to frown than it is to smile. And that's scientific. But it takes more effort to do the right thing than it does to do the wrong thing.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, hell yeah.
It's like there are times where it's like somebody's yelling at me. It's like, I just want to curse you out so badly right now because you're so wrong and you're being real stupid and ignorant right about now. But I got to pick my battles, because this is not a battle worth fighting because of the environment that I'm in, and I know the odds are against me. So it's like, you got to play this game. You got to have situational awareness. You know what I'm saying? Because there's been moments like, I don't feel like being on the level all the time. Yeah. I feel like I want to be lazy. I want to be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? I want to have a shorty that does everything for me, and I can lounge all day in my boxers. You know what I'm saying? I would like to know how that feels, but my spirit won't allow me, because my spirit is always about making sure that I provide for those who I care about.
I've always said, as of recently, actually since I've been coaching, that, man, sometimes I've heard other people say that, but I wish I didn't wake up. And I don't mean physically wake up in the morning. I wish I didn't take the red pill.
Yes.
I wish I didn't. Sometimes, and of us, it's very faint, but and then of us, it's more sarcastic than actually true. But sometimes I'm like, man, I could be out there just banging in the club like these people, but I can't. I mean, sometimes I wish I could just finish here and just go and pick up Lil Mama, or go by Lil Mama and have a blast. But that would take my life so far down. It would veer me off. I can't. My spirit would not allow me to.
I want to make a quote. I might be paraphrasing it. It's by Dave Ramsey.
Go for it.
You have to live like no other so that you can live life like no other.
I like the play on words. Yes. Dang.
Because, it's kind of like, what you've been built for. And you know that this is what you are tasked with. And it's your responsibility to make sure that you, at least with technology, you have it here.
Yeah.
It's stored forever unless they want to take it off.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah.
So if people want to feed off of it, they can. You did your diligence.
Yes.
You got it out.
Yes.
So that
you
cannot, at least you made effort to get it out.
Oh, yes. And that's where the joy is at, actually. The joy is, I'm in my purpose. My purpose is being done. Every once in a while, this one person finds, like just earlier, this one guy, I don't know, he probably just found the channel. And that happens often. A man just found the channel and he's watching a ton of the videos and he's commenting on every single one, and the notifications are coming in, right? Oh, I love your channel, man. I love this work. Please upload daily. And the comments just keep going and keep going. And that's the man that I work for.
Right.
It's only one man.
Right.
I don't need the video to have 20,000 views. No. It's only that one man. I've had men who told me that they created playlists of my videos and they just put their headphones on and lay down and just play them one after the other. They play the playlist.
Right.
And I have this one guy, actually he was my first client, who since I started here on YouTube, who made a playlist, and that playlist is still there, and it's the most playlist of my playlist. It's the most played. It's the place with the most plays and views of my videos.
Nice.
And he made that playlist, which means I don't have control over which video I remove. I can't, because he made it. It still carries his name. He put some kind of title to it. And when people find my videos, they might find a video out of his playlist,
right,
and they end up playing the rest of the playlist that he made. Those are the people that I work for. So as men, when we come up to the place, to our life purpose, we only work for the person for whom our work has value.
Correct.
And my work is done. Harvey, I think this is it for us. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate the conversation. Man, we can go so deep. You and I can go so deep. I am so happy that we are able to capture some of this conversation. Like I said to you earlier when you showed up, that I'm excited because I get to capture conversations that I have with men. Because I'm constantly having conversations with men. We're constantly talking about deep stuff when somebody like me and you meet. And now I get an opportunity to capture that conversation and put it out there for whoever the universe will send to find it. I am happy that you came tonight. I'm actually looking forward to another episode. Whenever that comes. Yeah, I mean, I can give you a break, but I think now you're used to it. I do have The Rock next week, and then the following week on the 13th, the young actor come in, and who knows, but you can take a break. But I'm actually looking forward to a live on game with you, and game by game I mean female psychology with you. Perhaps we should make that the next one whenever we get to talk again. It was a pleasure. I appreciated it.
I appreciate you honoring me by asking me to come back again to talk to your people that watch your channel. I am honored to having you want me to give my knowledge and impart my wisdom to those who are willing to listen.
Correct.
Because we all have to pass. We have to pass wisdom right now. Because wisdom is key to what's going on, and we can prolong men's lives because they understand the consequences of a choice. Then we're doing our job. Because no matter what happens, it's still a choice.
Yeah.
And right now, our choices are starting to get limited. If you start noticing, because why is something like your channel that is given life being
on the back burner, so to speak.
On the back burner.
The yellow
right
light, because it's sort of a pseudoscience. You're talking about topics that are controversial in a sense, and not everybody agrees, because some people agree that porn is good for you. Some people agree that masturbation is good for you. Hey, you know, what's wrong with busting a nut every once in a while? And
well, it's because it takes away from what's really going on. Because
right.
It's putting people to sleep.
Yes. Oh, we know that, but they don't know that.
Well, that's why we're saying it. Stay awake.
Yes, stay woke.
Stay aware of what's going on, not only with you, but what's going on around you. Remember, real G's move in silence. Code of conduct: stay quiet unless it's absolutely necessary to speak. And then when you speak, stand on your square. If you say something, own it. Don't give a flimsy apology saying I didn't mean to say it. Then why do you say it? That includes whether you say something on chat, where you say something when you text.
This is
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Do you have Prager University?
No.
Well, Prager University makes a lot of with short videos on controversial topics, and I have the app and I support it. It's a listener supported medium, and I got a notification yesterday that of a new video that says don't apologize to the mob, and I watched the video, and the mob is cancel culture right now. And it's so interesting. Now, here you are talking about essentially the same thing. The first thing to do when the mob comes for you, or should you have said something that the mob is unhappy about, do not apologize. Stand your ground. And that concludes our section. You are a man, you stand your ground. And on top of that, you are king. Thanks for being here. The few of you who stayed till the end, I appreciate you guys. Remember, like I said earlier, my life, my experience is a testimony to no FAPP and semen retention and sex energy transmutation. I'm living a life that I never imagined I could live. And I mean by just personal fulfillment, the way that I feel in my body, the way my spirit operates, the respect I get from people, the presence, the ability of me being present, respectful, staying on course, staying on my purpose, doing what needs to be done in my life, and how easy things are for me relatively to reality. Not that my mind is saying they're hard, but if they're hard by virtue of reality, because our minds makes demons out of shadows, or make mountains out of molehills. And so if you are on this journey, stay on this journey. You are encouraged. The gods are with you. The universe is with you. God is with you. The best is yet to come in your life. You are empowered. You are the man in power. Now you have to empower yourself so you can demonstrate that power. Until next time, my brother, you are king. Stay in your kingdom. Namaste.
Peace.
You are on the right path. You are on the right journey. The journey of self-discovery. The journey of self-love. The journey of self-empowerment. Stay on this journey.